It's time for Caribbean News, covering current events from around the world, regionally and locally, with Sean Garrity on this station. It's news the Caribbean can use. And now, the details. CARICOM split on post of Commonwealth Secretary General. Antigua and Barbuda has described as a monumental error the decision by Jamaica to announce the nomination of its Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister, Kamina Johnson-Smith, for the post of Commonwealth Secretary General. Brown said that Jamaica was party to a recent CARICOM consensus endorsing the re-election of Baroness Patricia Scotland for the position, adding, "I think Jamaica proposed the candidate for Commonwealth Secretary General is a monumental error which could only serve to divide the Caribbean." Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt has not yet commented on the Jamaican position, which was announced late Friday night. Scotland is a Dominican-born national whom Skerritt had again backed for re-election. At the end of their intersessional summit held in Belize last month, CARICOM leaders issued their communique in which they expressed their overwhelming support for the re-election of Baroness Patricia Scotland as Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Scotland was elected to the post at the Caribbean Heads of Government meeting in Malta in 2015, and her re-election is scheduled to take place during the June 20 to 25 Commonwealth Summit in Kigali, Rwanda. Scotland is the second Secretary General from the Caribbean and the first woman to hold the post. Investigation prompts resignation of Aruba's Prime Minister. Prime Minister of Aruba, Evelyn Weaver-Crowes, has resigned. Weaver-Crowes, the island's first female prime minister who came into power in November of 2017, resigned after prosecutors announced an investigation into one of the parties making up her ruling coalition for suspected embezzlement of funds. A government statement said Parliament has been dissolved and a new date for elections will be announced shortly. However, Weaver-Crowes will handle pending government business, including the fallout of the coronavirus pandemic, until a new government is installed. There are times when it is necessary to make difficult decisions, but when one follows the path of integrity and puts God first, one knows you are on a good path, Weaver-Crowes wrote in a Facebook post. "In this difficult moment, I signed this resignation letter of our Weaver-Crowes cabinet." The tourism-dependent island's economy contracted 25% in 2020, prompting the government to launch a stimulus package worth around 13% of gross domestic product.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Fantastic DJs. For all your entertainment needs, it's fantasticdjs.com.
In entertainment, Koffee is first female Jamaican artist on UK album charts in 27 years. Koffee's debut album, Gifted, has opened at number 9 on the UK official albums chart, making her the first female Jamaican-born artist in the top 10 and the first woman from the island on the chart in 27 years. Diana King's Tougher Than Love, which was released in April of 1995, had spent 3 weeks on the charts, peaking at the number 50. Sean Paul's Dirty Rock album had peaked at number 2 in 2003, while The Trinity peaked at number 11 in 2005, followed by Imperial Blaze at number 38 in 2009, and Tomahawk Technique at number 34 in 2012. Shaggy has had 7 albums on the UK albums chart, including Hot Shot, which peaked at number 1 in 2001, and 44876 with Sting, which peaked at number 9 in 2018. Koffee's 10-track Gifted, which was released on March 25 via Promised Land Recordings and Columbia Records, is among 5 new projects in the top 10 of the weekly chart, which is compiled by the official charts company based on sales of CDs, downloads, vinyl, and weighted audio streams. In business, Secretary Buttigieg announces new fuel economy standards. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg on Friday announced new fuel economy standards for vehicles that will begin with model year 2024.
Today, with all of these key partners represented, we are proud to announce America's new fuel economy standards. Car manufacturers will be required to produce cars, minivans, SUVs, and pickup trucks that get better mileage than ever before. And the benefits are going to be real for drivers across America. Starting in model year 2024, when these standards take effect, Americans buying a new vehicle will spend less on gas than they would have if we hadn't taken this step. I won't hit you with too much math, but just a little bit to illustrate this. Today's model year 21 vehicles, the standard is 36 miles per gallon. By 2026, we'll be over 48. So what that means is a 33% gain. It means if you're filling up 4 times a month, that would become 3 times a month by model year 2026 based on those averages. And of course, that would save a typical American household hundreds of dollars. So it's a win for every driver in America, but I would note it is a particularly big win for drivers in rural areas where residents cover more distance every day and fill up more frequently.
In sports, KC fit and ready for champs, says coach. Coach of Kingston College, Leiford Grant, says his athletes are fit and ready for the 111th staging of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships at the National Stadium from April 5 through 9. Kingston College relinquished the boys' title to Jamaica College last year, but Grant says his athletes are better prepared this year. A maximum of 20,000 fans have been approved to attend the championships. Up to 3,500 spectators have been given clearance to occupy the grandstand and 16,500 for the bleachers on each day of the championships. Grant says after competing in an empty stadium last year, he welcomes the return of fans.
Our fans is like the 13th man, so to speak, in a football game. For us, we feed off the energy. Although we have some youngsters who has never really encountered or were able to deal with fans in the stands, but that's where we come in. We will help them to use those fans as our energy to ensure that they do the best of their abilities.
Leiford Grant, coach of Kingston College. Near Palm Beach weather, rain showers in the morning with scattered thunderstorms arriving in the afternoon with a high of 79 degrees. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour with a chance of rain 60%. Scattered thunderstorms in the evening, partly cloudy skies overnight with a low of 74 degrees. Wind southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour with a 50% chance of rain. And in Fort Lauderdale, rain showers in the morning with scattered thunderstorms arriving in the afternoon, high around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour with a 60% chance of rain. Scattered thunderstorms during the evening, then partly cloudy overnight with a low of 74 degrees. East-southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour with a 40% chance of rain. And that was the news, entertainment, and sports with Sean Garrity. Be sure to stay tuned to this station for more news from around the world, locally, and the Caribbean.